What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Outside Line Media podcast after an amazing weekend of racing. It's your boys, Patrick.
Ryan, yeah, indeed. We are back. We've just about made it through the off season. There's racing basically every weekend for the inevitable future, and
I mean,
my
that's just because
happiness has returned.
NASCAR's live.
Yeah, my happiness has returned.
Yeah.
So, we're so back, and we have a lot to talk about today.
We made it through 6 months of IndyCar off season.
We made it.
They're
And
gonna
it all
make us
started.
do it again next year. I'm so sad.
Yeah, they really got to do something about that off season. I really hope they really deeply consider changing the schedule.
If
Of how long
NASCAR
the
can
off
run
season.
until November, if NASCAR can run from February to November, IndyCar can run from February to November.
Yeah,
It's on the same continent.
Yeah, it's truly just IndyCar's fault, but we are back now, thankfully. At St. Pete this weekend. Started with Indy NXT, well, obviously the USF Pro races, which I will say I was watching them in my bed, and I swear they introduced the drivers 7 times. They went up and down the grid like 3 times,
Hey, they're
and
just
I was
happy to
like,
be here.
they are just happy to be there. And pro race is good, but the first real race that we tracked and really think about was Indy NXT. What were your thoughts on that race, Patrick?
I think it was a good race. Kind of a very St. Pete-esque race. You're gonna have a couple crashes, and other than that, it's fuel save, tire save until the end.
Yeah,
Well, not really fuel save in Indy NXT, but tire save, and you're not gonna have a ton of passes for the lead.
Yeah, pretty procedural race. The top 4 stayed the top 4 for the entire race.
Yeah.
With Dennis Hauger getting his win, which, I mean, beautiful.
Yeah,
That
I mean,
was
winning on debut in a new series. I called it beginning of the season, and yesterday I think thought he was going to do good on all the street circuits and road courses. I mean,
and he sure did.
dude's an amazing driver. Yeah, let's just move into our predictions then, how they fared with the Indy NXT race. I had Dennis Hauger winning it, so you can imagine my happiness watching him lead that entire race. Yeah, just not really a dominant victory, but a dominant victory. Never lost P1. Didn't really have a huge gap though. Good race overall, though, for me.
Yeah, I on my NXT predictions, the only one I could give myself is Miles Rowe hitting the apex, starting 4th, finishing 4th. Way better on a new team, but way better than he did last year, and a level of consistency that I do expect to continue to see from him. Really wish he could have won, but he didn't. Dennis Hauger was just dominant up front, and there wasn't much movement, as I said, in that front pack. But still, I think a great weekend from him, and got to be a confidence booster because I swear it was a shot to his heart every single weekend near the end of last year.
Just mechanical issue after mechanical issue after getting taken out, and yeah. I also had my miss the apex hit, and that was Haley Deegan. Again, street circuit with an oval racer, not really gonna fare the best.
Credit
in
where
a brand new
credit's
series. She stayed
Credit
on the
where
lead
credit's
lap.
due. She not only stayed on the lead lap, she didn't crash. She also improved like I think 3 or 4 seconds from her first practice until the race pace, which I mean looking at it now, she was on average speed. She really was not that far off everybody.
Yeah, just enough to make it like a minute gap by the end of the race.
Still, obviously, a lot of people expect a lot from a big name like Haley Deegan. So I can agree they hit the apex. But overall, for her, I think it should be a mental win. Learning. Yeah. It's gonna be a process. There's gonna be a lot of races like this.
Yeah, I think she always knew that coming in the street circuits and the road courses were gonna be a challenge. Not just having to adapt to a new car, but adapting to a new style of racing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. But good race overall. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Can't complain.
Then on to the main show, personally, for the weekend. IndyCar at St. Pete. Ryan, just thoughts on that race?
It was good. We'll talk about it later. I have some very choice words about Fox.
It was St. Pete.
But it was St. Pete. I'm happy IndyCar's back. I'm I love IndyCar, and I'm very glad we're racing again. And even these races that I would consider on the IndyCar scale are boring. They're never boring. It's IndyCar.
Yeah.
And that's what I love about
It's
it.
not
And I think
Formula
it was a
One.
good race. Yeah. There's not literal races where it's just a procession line. There's
Yeah.
not Monaco.
We actually had,
So,
changes for the lead and everything. Which, I mean, overall, I think it was a good race overall. It was St. Pete, fuel save
yeah.
and tire save. That's the
Yeah.
name of the game there.
It always will be. It's just how it is. But they made that track good, and there was, I think 5 people led laps. It looks like six people led laps. Really, only 2 of them being significant, with Scotty Mack at 40 and Alex Blow at 26. There's being Scott Dixon with 5, just Newgarden with 2, Marcus Armstrong with 3, and Colton Hurd with 1.
Christian
So I mean, they
Lingard,
were
dude, 23. Shout out to
23.
him, first race with McLaren.
Yeah. I'm not gonna lie, my mic arm is sitting over his head. So that's my apologies for missing that one. Yeah, 23. So 3 people with significant laps lead. Christian Lundgaard, great weekend for him. Like you said, I mean that was I have a feeling I'm gonna bite my tongue on my preseason IndyCar take that he was gonna have a bad year. Already looking like that's wrong, because the highest out of the McLarens, granted, Nolan Siegel got no fault of his own out very quickly. And
The only fault of his was qualifying that low.
Pato came back up to 11th, highest mover. Good race from him, but
he passed Colton Herta because Andretti pit stops.
Andretti will be Andretti, unfortunately.
Look, I just want to talk about literally watching the Andretti guys come out and setting up for.
You called it.
I think it was his second pit stop. It was his full fuel pit stop. And I'm sitting there and I'm like, they're going to screw this up. Andretti's going to mess this up somehow. Ryan's over there. Nah, dude, it's a full fuel stop. They have so long to get everything right. Like, full fuel, there's no rush whatsoever. I don't know how many positions he lost in the pits. I think all of them.
Yeah, so that was brutal from him, but overall, good race. I'm glad we're back. St. Pete is St. Pete. So how did your predictions do, Patrick? IndyCar man?
Yeah, so my top 3, we're not going to talk about that nickname. I went 0 for 6 for my predictions. I said Marcus Ericsson was gonna win the race. He finished in P6. I said Christian Lundgaard would become P2. We already talked about him. Great race, but P8. And then I think probably the worst prediction at all, Will Power. Actually, no. There might be another one below that. Will Power in P3. Willie P didn't make it past the first lap.
Yeah. That's a tough one. My prediction personally, I can't say much better. I went 2 for 6. My top 3 being Scotty Mack, who that was the one that hit. He was. Oh wait, no, that didn't hit. Math wrong. He was 4th. He was 4th. I hit one prediction. I went 1 for 6, and that was my Rossi hit the apex. So I had my top 3 is Scotty Mack, Colton Hurd, Pato Award.
Yeah, I said that Louis Foster was going to hit the apex. Brother, he hit something.
Yeah.
I said Joseph Newgarden was going to miss the apex. Now, I would like to argue this. I mean, the last lap, his tires fell off a ton.
Yeah, I also had Joseph
You
Newgarden.
fell down 1 position on the last lap.
But no, that's still a good race from him, so you can't really be upset about that, unfortunately, for us.
And we both thought that the Fox broadcast was going to be a 6 out of 10. And unfortunately, that prediction crashed and burned. Call that one Roman Grosjean.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. I'm very disappointed with Fox. They got me really excited for the amount of effort they put in.
But like, we're NASCAR fans too, so like, we should have known. We should have known. We should have known.
But there's some stuff I expect the bad camera angles from Fox. I expect just ignoring battles that are happening on track and not showing us them at all. But what I didn't expect was just missing data. No hybrid information, no push-to-pass information was ever shown on screen. The score, the
The
ticker,
timing tower was
buggy. Constantly you saw names just moving, doubled up names constantly. I mean, it was a disaster. We were using the IndyCar app halftime because sometimes they just wouldn't show it.
Yeah.
And I think Fox gets a 2 maybe. A 2 for trying their best, if that. I mean, I really hope. I get it. It's the first time with a new series.
Oh no, but they've been broadcasting sports for how long? They should have this stuff down.
Yeah, you think they would
If we can have
understand
super
this now.
realistic looking field overlays in football, a timing tower for a race event where you have all that data being fed to you should not be an issue. I made one remark that it was just one of their one of the executives at Fox's kid was the one in the back with an iPad adjusting the timing tower, because that is legitimately what it looked like.
Yeah, it was not.
But hey, 1.4 million people tuned in.
Was a big number, so the ads worked, but I hope that people stick around. I hope Fox gets their shit together.
I don't know, maybe people that aren't race fans that didn't tune in last year won't realize how bad that was. But I have a feeling a lot of those people are Formula One fans. And that was kind of pathetic, Fox.
Yeah, they had to come out swinging. It needed to be better than this.
Like, why did they not do like runs with the overlays and stuff at Sebring to get these bugs out? Like,
they did a test run for the broadcast. We know that.
Yeah.
With the commentary team, you think they'd be doing the telemetry at the same time, but
yeah.
I don't know. It was just not good. And there's some of the graphics I just don't like. The race progress, taking one out of the NASCAR book with the line and showing what I like it.
You know my thoughts about it. It gives me PTSD for stage racing.
Yeah, but it is a good way to show it, because then if you like walked away for a while, you're like, what happened this race? You can kind of look at
and you just see a straight bar of yellow.
You're like, oh.
Because it's the Nashville Street Circuit.
Yeah.
Or what was that? Was that Canada this year? Was that Toronto? That was like 17 laps of green flag running.
Yeah, that sounds right. That was
amazing racing, IndyCar boys.
But we love IndyCar, and Fox be damned, IndyCar was still good. I still enjoyed it. I still had a fun time watching it. Hopefully Fox gets their shit together. That's all we can hope.
I mean, honestly, if they don't, I'm very tempted by the VPN plus IndyCar Live subscription with no ads.
Yeah, the ads are ridiculous, but I don't think that will ever change. I think that's just what we have to
That's just network TV being network TV.
Yeah, sadly.
It's kind of what we knew was going to happen.
We've been seeing it so much with NASCAR.
Luckily,
we shouldn't have been surprised at all.
I think there was more in a lot of the NASCAR races, but maybe that's just because they run under yellow so much.
The IndyCar one felt not as I didn't have any as severe moments where I'm like, get out of this commercial. What happened?
Yeah.
But granted, that's because not as much happened. So
yeah,
there was some full. Wasn't there some full commercials where we didn't have any
during caution?
Half and half during caution, but wasn't there? Was that NXT? They had one straight up.
Yeah, that was NXT that straight up had one. That pissed me off.
Half and half. That was annoying. But yeah, overall, IndyCar's back. We're happy. Our predictions were not happy. But
just
that's
show
inevitable.
No ads for the Indy 500.
They should be for real. They really,
too much happens during the Indy 500.
Yeah, no,
but
I agree.
That's gonna have high viewership. So
yeah.
Which, if anyone in Indianapolis is watching, we'll be at the Indy 500. We'll be at the Indy Road Course. And after the Indy 500, join us for an after party at the Hoosier Dome with the boys in a sense of purpose. Dome is home.
Dome is home.
I gotta shout out the boys in ASAP.
We love sense of purpose, and we love the Hoosier Dome.
Yes, Ryan's first time crowd surfing.
It's incredible. Great time.
Beautiful moment.
Beautiful.
All right, let's move on to the most depressing race of the weekend. NASCAR at
NASCAR.
COTA. Yeah, it was a race.
It was a race of all time.
The race went from being super hectic to just boring to having a good finish.
Yeah, it was a very up and down race.
I mean, I left after a certain crash happened, but
Yeah, Connor Zilic unfortunately zigged when he should have zagged. He was in smoke. What are you gonna do?
look, his first
And
mistake was being behind Daniel Suarez.
first mistake was trusting a teammate.
Yep.
But yeah, I could be
Fire
completely
him,
wrong.
put Zilly in the car.
I could be wrong. It didn't look like Daniel Suarez was holding his brakes to me, and that wreck doesn't happen if Daniel Suarez holds his brakes. Now I might just not know ball, but those wheels did not seem to be trying to stop.
Look,
Hold your damn brakes.
what we gotta do. Daniel Suarez, gone. Zilly then gets promoted. Then who do I want to kick off of 2311?
Why are we kicking?
To get Corey Heim a seat.
Ah,
I don't know. I just want to see that man in a cup car.
yeah, that would be nice. But
Yeah, my top three was 0 for 0. I had SVG, Zilly, and Larson.
I got 1 for 3. I had I had Zilly, Seabell, which hit. He won, huge, and then SVG. So 1 for 3.
Mr. Fancy Pants over here.
Really,
Ooh, I actually have
really
a
wanted that
driver that
race
can
for
win
Kyle
at a road
Busch.
course.
That looked really good for Kyle Busch for a while, but you know that would have been cool. When it was Kyle Busch and Chris Seabell, I was kind of like, I can't really be upset right now. I like
Yeah,
Seabell.
did you see Seabell having to dive out of going for a move on the inside after he got yelled at by Kyle Busch last year?
He knew better. He remembered. He dialed him
could
up.
have, like, honestly though, he could have taken that corner and it would have been KB's fault in my opinion.
Yeah, but
I think the one in 2024 was KB's fault. I think he turned into him, but and then Kyle Busch, KFB is going to be KFB, and he's going to blame someone else for his crash.
All NASCAR drivers do it, especially KFB. So
no, Larson took responsibility for murdering Austin Cindric last weekend.
Well, if you get caught with a smoking gun, you have to admit you did something. I mean, there was no question that wasn't like he ran him out of the wall. But yeah, I liked it. It was a little boring in the middle.
Look, Larson's done worse, man.
Yeah, I need NASCAR to clarify track limits for next year. Really don't understand what's going on in the S's with them just because theoretically couldn't they have just? I mean, they were allowed to blow the S's. NASCAR said they wanted forcing it. Why didn't they people just go straight line it? Like they took it far, but why didn't? I mean, did you see Seabell's line on the last lap?
Yeah,
bro was like. I think next year
Wild.
they're definitely going to want to clarify the track limits and kind of make them more stringent. I like,
but it's not as good when it's
more
stringent.
But not when you cut corner. You can't cut a corner. Like that's excessive. You can let them run wide. You can let
Isn't
them run
there a
up on
whole
the
part of
curving.
Phoenix about cutting a corner, right?
Brother, this is taking out like
look
if
the
you give,
S's. There's just a dog leg for the S's. All right, think about it that way.
You give them an inch, they're going to take a mile. If you let them do this, next year people will legitimately straight line the S's.
If everyone does it, then.
But then it's an ass race. Like the S's are necessary.
But aren't there sausage curves on the S's, on the apexes?
It's an NASCAR, brother. They'll clunk it. Not there. They could go so off track, Patrick, that they just blow straight by everything. That's what I'm saying. Like literally, they could take the dumbest line ever because if they're saying they can go off track, that's off track.
It's the same thing I've been telling F1 for years. Gravel.
Make them learn. I don't
know.
Make them learn.
But who did you have hitting the apex this weekend? We had a discussion about this before the pod.
They both had Connor Zilic, and initially, before I remembered that I did that, I was trying to argue against Patrick saying that counted. We're giving it a half point.
Yep.
And
He made it
I'm
halfway
more.
through the race, and he was hitting the apex entirely through
I
that
can
half
kind
of
of
the
accept that.
race.
It was a wreck, and that happens in motorsports, and we can't just be like, but he
S-
crashed out. But
Yeah.
he still had a good race for a
Especially when you're
debut,
behind Daniel Suarez. That's just going to happen.
ended with no fault of his own, unfortunately. I mean, but you always can look back
Could
and
have
like what could have
zagged.
gone this
He
way,
could have
but
zagged.
Daniel Suarez could have hold his fucking brakes. So what are you gonna do?
Yeah.
But I do think it was a half hit the apex. I think he went a little offline on the outside of the
I mean, he won the
know.
Xfinity race, too.
Yeah, but this
After
is Cup.
murdering someone.
Yeah. He took the one out of Larson's playbook, but he actually won the race.
Hey, Larson finished the race.
So yeah, we're gonna give ourselves a half point on that. Who'd you have missing the apex, Patrick?
I had Joey Logano missing the apex, and he was P24, I think, so that's a miss the apex if I've ever seen one. A Penske car in P24? Yeah.
And William Byron.
Not
Moving
working out
on.
for you. Not working out for you.
And we had the other one. Was there an execution pit maneuver on the last lap? And there was not. And Patrick, I believe you had that correct, didn't you?
Yep, I said that they were going to keep it clean. There was going to be a little bit of banging, a little bit of wheel bumping, but they were going to keep it clean. And I don't even think there was banging and wheel bumping. I think Seabell and Byron had that on lock at the end of the race. But, I mean, overall, really good weekend of racing. But we've got a pretty good weekend coming up.
Yeah, it's missing,
it's missing
it,
IndyCar.
Yeah. Good races for sure. Very happy about NASCAR.
NASCAR.
This is the most. I'm going to try to watch every NASCAR race this year. And I say this having missed most of Atlanta, but to my ability.
Yeah.
And so far, season's good. IndyCar, great start. Indy NXT, always exciting. Really looking forward to next week. And next week, the main event I guess we should talk about is NASCAR's at Phoenix.
Not my main event. Not my main event. Not my main event. Because there's better racing.
There is. And what would that be, Patrick?
Moto America is at Daytona this weekend. Day turning left, day turning right, and day on two wheels. We got King of the Baggers. We got Super Bikes. We got Twins. I'm not sure if Royal Enfield Build Train Race is going to be there. That's the all-female feeder series for Moto America. It's kind of like F1 Academy, but better. Because the women like build their own bikes. It's sick. And yeah, great racing this weekend from them. They're on the Daytona Roval. If you've ever seen a guy flat out in the corner of turn 3 and they somehow smack the wall on a motorcycle, bounce twice, hit 2 other people, and they all manage to stay up and go to the end, and that guy finishes P3, you can't get that in any other racing series. It's wild. I'm backing Josh Herrin for a win there. I know we don't have official predictions, but he's coming off the back of an amazing year. I think Josh Herrin's winning the Superbike race. And you know what? We're backing Hayden Gillum for the King of the Baggers win, the Kentucky-born native.
There we go. Yeah, I'm excited to watch that.
I got to pay for my subscription.
That is so facts.
I also have to pay for F1 TV. Mine just expired.
Dang, ain't that a proud bitch?
Yeah, I got an email about it, and I just haven't felt like doing it.
So yeah, we got that, and as I said, got Cup at Phoenix, where we are doing predictions.
Yep.
Couple things about this. Catherine Leggs making her Cup debut.
Hopefully, it goes better than her Daytona race.
Yeah. It's the first female to start in Cup since 2018 when Danica Patrick ran the Daytona 500. The bar is the fucking floor. So, Catherine Legg,
I'm actually curious.
You're a great racer, Catherine Legg, and what happened in ARCA was not your fault. So go out there and just kick ass. So
I'm looking at the race results of the 2018 Daytona 500. Race results. Danica Patrick finished P35.
So yeah,
Look,
the bars
it's not
for
Danica's fault. Everyone knows that the lizard people were stopping her from being successful in NASCAR. And that's why she's in Europe with F1 right now, because the lizard people don't know how to cross the ocean.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Couldn't have said it better myself. Looney Tunes ass Danica Patrick is the bar.
Bubba
So
Wallace
calculate.
P2 as a rookie. I'm just going to throw that out there in the 2018 Daytona 500.
Yep. No. So that's exciting. Should be a good race. It is Phoenix. I'm not my favorite personally. It's usually all right, but it's Phoenix.
There's a reason it's not my favorite, and that has to do with
Yeah.
the end of the season more so than
Yeah,
this
I think I
race.
have a sour taste in my mouth seeing Phoenix because it's it's constantly the sight of Joey Logano winning bum championships. But
Yeah.
moving on from our classic Joey Logano hate, who'd you have for your top three, Patrick?
My top three, I got Kyle Larson winning it. I think he's kind of had a bad season so far this year, except for finishing Atlanta. We finally finished on a super speedway. Let's go, Kyle. The bar was on the floor for super speedways. P2, I've got Ryan Blaney. And then P3, it pains me to say, but it is Phoenix. I've got Joey Logano. It's Phoenix. He can race one track, basically.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why he has 3 championships.
Yep.
4?
First the threes, I believe.
3. It's 3. He hasn't matched yet. Okay.
But my top 3, I have Seabell dominance continuing. Christopher Bell.
It's gonna age like milk.
Well, let's see. Second place, I also have Ryan Blaney. I think he's gonna have a good weekend here. And third, it's Penske, and it's Penske at Phoenix.
Yeah,
so
Penske at Phoenix.
It's kind of inevitable. And then third, I got Denny Hamlin. He's kind of been having a quiet season, I guess would be the not really great.
Podcast hasn't been very quiet.
That is facts.
Great episode after Daytona.
I think he's gonna pop into the top 3. I'm excited. So who'd you got in the apex for you, Patrick?
I got Catherine Legg hitting the apex. Like we said, the bar's on the ground. I think she's gonna have pretty good race. I think she's gonna finish the race. I'm gonna say that's my hit the apex for her. She's gonna finish the race. She's had really bad luck on ovals the past 2 years. So I'm just looking to see. Maybe it was an issue with them all being speedways, super speedways. Maybe a normal mid-tier oval will work. And I mean, speaking of mid-tier ovals, let's talk about Kentucky Speedway real quick. I had to find a way to work it in.
Don't say Kentucky Speedway and mid in the same sentence, okay? I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, there's nothing mid about Kentucky, but it's a mid-length.
Top tier.
Yeah,
it's a top tier mid-length. You gotta put the word top before you say mid.
Yeah, top tier mid-length track. Bring back Kentucky Speedway.
Come back. We need it desperately. I saw my sweet prince the other day. She's beautiful, but she's deteriorating.
Man up. You know, I'm gonna put some weight on this to force me to do it. By the first race that we are going to this year, that we're going to as fans, not that we're working potentially at Mid-Ohio. So that would be IMSA, I believe, not the WeatherTech Sports Car Challenge, but the Michelin Pilot Sport Challenge. I'm going to bring back Kentucky Speedway stickers because we got to bring it back. We got to let them hear our voices.
Let them know. Let them know.
And if they don't bring back Kentucky Speedway, I will set myself on fire in protest in turn. Let's do turn 3. Turn 3 seems like a good vibe.
Seems like a nice place to set yourself on fire.
I think that's like the third time I've threatened to set myself on fire over something today.
Reasonable. Perfectly reasonable response.
Perfectly reasonable reaction. I think the other was if they don't restock the Celsius in the business center vending machine at NKU.
That's perfectly reasonable.
It's been out for like a month, dude. I'm about to
Can't hate.
crash out.
I can't hate. I can't hate.
Who do you have hitting the Apex this weekend?
I have Denny Hamlin. Even though I put him in third, he's in my top three. I think he's really gonna have a nice race. I think he's gonna be there at the end. I think it was gonna be one of those races where he definitely could have won and not fall of his own. Just real close finish with the top three. I think he's gonna have a great weekend and get his season rolling. Points wise.
Hell yeah. What about your miss the Apex?
As much as it pains Sammy, I got Kyle Busch missing the Apex this weekend. I think he's
KFB.
running a little hot this season. He's been real close, and I think that this week Kyle Busch is going to be Kyle Busch, and I believe he's going to wreck. Probably his own fault. He will probably still try to fight someone. It'll be Kyle Busch. What about you?
They're going to punch out a TV.
Yes.
I have SVG missing the Apex this weekend. Mid-length ovals haven't really been his strength. I just think it's not going to be... I don't think it's going to be a bad weekend necessarily, but I think it's just going to be an anonymous weekend from SVG.
Yeah.
Just right in the middle of the pack somewhere. Might get caught up in a wreck, might get out clean. But middle of the pack, not really doing anything. SVG.
Yeah. SVG. Yeah, I can't agree. Agree. I think that's a good take. So, you think it's going to be overtime, Patrick?
I think we're going to have one overtime start this weekend at Phoenix. I think they're going to crash out and then keep it clean on the last one until they get to the white flag. I think there might be post-white flag shenanigans, but...
yeah, as per usual. I think it's going to end not in overtime. Wild.
They're going to behave.
I think they're going to behave.
Let's just get 7 overtimes again. I forget what track that was at last year. Was that Nashville? Yeah. That was Nashville.
Was it? Yeah. I can't wait to be proven wrong because I know these guys cannot behave on last laps. They're gonna crash each other.
Well, no, last lap doesn't matter. It's the second to last lap.
Second to last lap. The difference between 23rd and 22nd to them is apparently worth destroying a race car.
Which is why F1 should pay points all the way down. We might see that in F1.
Good Lord.
It's a conversation for a different day.
Yeah. I'm excited for Cup Phoenix. Keep the ball rolling. Good week of NASCAR. Yeah.
Yeah.
Moto America, NASCAR. It's gonna be a good weekend. It always reminds me how IndyCar has these stupid gaps in the schedule. Kind of spoiled by F1 and NASCAR with the. I mean, F1 has it too, but F1 you see a 3-week break and you nearly break down the tears because that's so rare, other than the big ones.
Yeah, so. I don't know. I mean, I think it speaks volumes that I think Moto America has the same, if not maybe a shorter off season than IndyCar does.
Yeah.
But what you gonna do? I mean, we went to the last race for Moto America. We went to the race in August. There was at least one more round after that, maybe 2 more. And IndyCar was the beginning of September.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's going to constantly be a bummer, but I'm excited for this weekend. NASCAR, keep the ball rolling. Moto America should be fun to watch.
We got testing at the local dirt tracks booting back up.
Local dirt track loading up.
Florence Speedway.
Should be fun. Gonna have a good weekend. You got any final notes? Any other than bring back Kentucky Speedway?
Bring back Kentucky Speedway.
We will be making an appearance on the Podium Pop podcast coming up here soon.
Whenever that comes out. You'll have to let me know that information.
Yep, I don't know that information yet. So when I know,
I have a great content director, don't I, guys?
Actually, if you look down at your phone right now, there's a group chat between all of us.
Well, they're asking if we're watching the Race of Champions, which we'll see. I don't know. Are we watching the Race of Champions? I don't even know when it is.
Why not? I don't know what it is, but if we can,
if it's on, depends on when it is. I might try to make an appearance at Florence Speedway on Saturday. We'll see.
But yeah, exciting week coming up. We'll be hitting you with the usual post race episode next week, and then heating up
Can't wait to bring you guys some live race coverage later this season.
Yes,
That's
I
going to
know.
be
We'll get there. We will get there soon. You'll be looking at us in some lawn chairs at a race.
the
So
best place to be. I don't
Mid Ohio,
remember what our first race of the season is, but
we'll be there. We'll be wherever it is.
yeah.
So
It's going to be a fun season. Looking forward to it. And yeah, everyone have a great night. I am tired. Let's
subscribe.
yeah,
The usual. I have to say it because I feel like if I make Patrick do it all the time, he's gonna kill me. Hit all the buttons. Do the thingies.
unsubscribe, dislike,
Yeah, whatever you want to do. Pop
notifications.
off.
Yeah, pop off in the comments. Tell me why my takes are horrible. I will
Yep.
argue with you and I will crash out on you.
Yeah, let us know your predictions were for the race. Let's go off on Fox in the comment section this week. Let's just go ballistic.
Yeah.
I can't wait. I'll join you. I'll be in the comment section
Tell
on
Fox that
17
if they
different
screw
accounts.
up one more thing, I will come to their corporate headquarters and in the lobby of the building, I will set myself on fire and protest. That's what the other one I said earlier today was. Talking to non-racing people.
Yep, I'm sure they love that one.
It's my friends. They understand.
All right, before we burn metaphorically and physically any more bridges, let's call it a day. Have a
Fox,
great
please
day.
invite us out to a race.
Have a great week. Exciting racing as always. Yeah. Adios.
Have fun, be safe, make decent decisions.
Don't do anything I would do.
That's a low bridge, Ryan.